Oh, is there any way it's going?
ไปก่อน
All right. Hello, welcome to our URD presentation. We are ScheDool. Scheduling made easy. So, hi, my name is Bill. He's born, went, and diamonds in May. Okay, so to recap. Okay, so over around 85% of school are in the OBEC system, which is account around 29K. So we found out this because we went on a school and we have realized, okay, they put teachers in a small room, in front of computers with a bunch of documents. And it takes quite a lot of time, which 2 to 3 weeks, I'm sorry. Okay. So if you have to look at constraints, there's students, whether students are available at the same time, teachers are available at the same time, and the room are available at the same time. But if you have to do this for 4,000 students, countless room and 300 teachers, it's become a very tedious thing. This problem is very, very...
It's a complete abomination of policy.
Okay, it's around that part. So here's the problem. The problem is, the first, is fully manual. Teachers have to come together, spend like 8 hours per day in 3 weeks of their time, together in a room, you get slides and a bunch of documents, and stacks and stacks of documents. Secondly, it is time consuming. It takes, although it takes 2 to 3 weeks, it takes quite a lot of people. And you times that by 8, that's also a lot. And speaking of time, it is quite expensive. If you times wage per hour and time, it will cost you around 100K. And lastly, it is hugely neat. School under OBEC is over 98%, which counts around 29K. Okay, so introducing ScheDool. ScheDool is an AI-powered scheduling engine that generates accurate, conflict-free in minutes. So teachers can do what matters to them most. So here's our workflow in a nutshell. We put constraints in a form of CSV file. We shove into our system. We clean it, format it, put through genetic algorithm to schedule it, and we validate it. And voila, we get complete timetables. So give this to deep dive about genetic algorithm to boom.
Okay, before we dive in, let me explain briefly what is a genetic algorithm. The genetic algorithm is an optimization algorithm that implies library of national order. It maintains the population of candidates representing chromosome and genes. And it keeps iteratively growing by applying motion and provide record. This is what we call the mutation and crossover. Just like in your biology class, the population needs to adapt to the environment and passing the routine to the next generation. The same thing happens in the genetic algorithm. So, how do we represent this to ScheDool in our is chromosome and gene. The gene is represent a lesson. The lesson is the unique combination of teacher, subject, and class. For example, here, teacher, she wants teaching mathematics to class grade 1 room 1. And there are constraints also in order to the lesson, so our student can apply them in the schedule. Back to the gene. In each gene, the list of the time slot and the rule, which telling us when and where the lesson are occurred throughout the week. For example, here the gene that act to the lesson I mentioned earlier have the 3 slots in the week. Monday, Thursday, 3, Monday, Thursday, 4, and Thursday, Thursday, 1. Them are at the room 001. And then our structure design. In next slide, in green, we will talk about the business function and the formation unit.
All right, thank you, Mr. Boone, for a wonderful technical explanation. All right, so how do we know the solutions that were chosen or selected are the ones that are good, right? Well, we use what's called the fitness function. It's an integral part of the algorithm anyway. So it's essentially a function that determines the quality of the schedule candidate by evaluating them using different criteria as seen here, where the harder constraints basically ones that are crucial to the schedule itself. For example, period count, double bookings are weighed strongly, while the ones that are softer constraints are basically the ones that are nice to have, like data distribution, are weighed a little bit lower. So the concept goes as, okay, the algorithm selects a schedule candidate, it asks the fitness function, hey fitness function, how good is this schedule candidate? And it says, okay, it's an 8. And it does this for the rest of the population, and it selects the best ones and does the iteration as Mr. Boone has explained earlier. Alright, so now know how the grading criteria, but since we don't live in an ideal world, unfortunately, what if the algorithm could not find the perfect solution? That's that, right? So since the genetic algorithm is essentially an iterative algorithm, right? It goes on, modifies, it terminates at 2 different basic points. Well, it either finds a perfect solution, right? Or it reaches the maximum generation limit. For example, if I set it to 10,000 generations, boy, that's gonna take a long time. So what we do is we implement a stopping criteria, right? So it ends, so a criteria that ends the algorithm when it comes to a point where a good enough solution has been found, right? So practically speaking, we implement it by saying, okay, if the fitness score of the overall solution has not improved over X number of generations, then the algorithm must stop. As you can see here, the graph over here, it starts with flat. That basically means, all right, the solution is stabilizing now, we can stop it, and that's it. And that completes the technical details. Thank goodness. Let's look at the demo.
As you can see, it just literally changed from like countless step to just 4. And just, can you count those click? There isn't that much clicking. And this is the feature that ScheDool provides for you. You can drag and drop it, you can filter it, and also you can drag from the preset into the schedule. There's still limitation on our project here. So the first thing is that After the generation you just made from GA, you can generate it the second time, which means there's only 500 to 750 generation. And the next thing is you can make 2 rooms into 1 slot. That means you can put in the lab and the lecture in the same slot. Also, you must follow the input and constraint strictly, or else it's not going to work. And also, it doesn't sync in real time, or otherwise there's no autosave here. You need to click save every time you have done something. And the last thing, this is the most important, the output is not 100% output. It's not 100% complete. You need to check it by your eyes. Even though it might give you the most perfect one, but there might be something that you might not want here and you can edit it later.
Okay, so let's look at the tool used in the market. So I'll divide this tool into 2 types. They are web-based tools, such as Telephone in the market right now, and SMS, which is highly adopted in school, likely to use that since features comes into bundles. So our tools, as you can see, we use around 15 minutes of generation time, which is heavily better than normal SMS and manual process. So let's look at this as potential ways to improve. So if we want to expand the integration to other school, we need to integrate this with SMS or school management system so they can use it in bundle in a system.
Right now, for the edge configuration, we'll be focusing on 3 points. This is privacy, reliability, and fairness. We want to make sure that the TA algorithm will distribute the workload among the teachers fairly, and not to mention that the data that will be being used must only be seen by authorized users only. Lastly, we want to make sure that the generated schedule are validated to reduce any conflict among the teachers and the students. Our future plan will be mainly focusing on improving our system, mainly on the security, and we're also going to be optimizing our TA so that it can handle more constraints and then generate the schedule faster. We're going to also integrate AI chatbot assistant to help the users along with the process. And lastly, we're going to be expanding, so we're going to be testing with other schools also.
All right, at the end, thank you, ขอบคุณครับ
谢谢。 Thank you very much. How do you pronounce it? ScheDool? ScheDool.
Yes.
ScheDool.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you for explaining. All right, so the floor is open for questions. Judges?
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. Okay, my first question is about, correct me if I'm wrong though, but I would like to know about the problem more. So what I understand is that most of your problems, most of them are hard constrained, right? I mean, like the class have to take this amount of classes, and the teacher cannot be, offering classes in 2 places at once. So why do you prefer genetic algorithms over like other techniques like rule-based and so on?
The main reason we choose the genetic algorithm is every time we have DNT to the teacher, student, or person, the parent multiply and it for people, the attackers will be working for it. And for the unit first, the super but we prefer genetic algorithm for
And then my following question is that you mentioned about the algorithm might not produce or find the solution or like that can satisfy all constraints. So what is how does your schedule system works? I mean, if we cannot find the schedule that can satisfy all constraints.
So if the perfect solution is not being found, we will have we will send the schedule on unfinished schedule to the user, and the residual thing that we can put in manually, because at this point the user has to tweak their constraints to perform and complete the manually.
Okay, thank you. Okay, one last question though about the user interface of how user can put in the constraints. Do you have like any design rationale or inspiration for like where it's come from?
Sorry, can you?
For users to, I mean, at some point user has to enter the constraint, right? And those. So I guess my question is, how do you design those user interface for that?
So for the user interface, it could be designed on the document that they already use, and we modify the delivery so it would adapt to the tool. And there are some, we are using the tool sheet to gather the input because it's very similar to the interface. And
No, about design rationale of the user interface. Yes.
so right now we have a plan to improve that because now we are putting the raw design to Excel and it's going to so we have a plan to making the
Thank you.
I have a quick question. Have you shown your project to the schools you've been working with? And are they using it yet? Or do they have concerns about issues that you haven't tackled yet? Your stakeholders, okay? How do they feel about what you've done? And are they ready to use it? And if not, what do you have to do in order to make it possible for them to use it?
So the feedback that we got is first of all is UI UX, but second of all is probably integration. Since school will normally use a tool that's come from SMS or school management system, if they want to use external tools, it will be enough to integrate. So if you want to really use it, you have to integrate with existing SMS.
I think the question is that how the school, your stakeholder feedback to the system, how do they feel? How do they feel?
How do they feel?
But they're not ready to adopt it yet. They're not ready to adopt it yet.
Yes.
Will they ever be? Okay, thank you. All right, thank you very much, ScheDool. All right, our next project is the Deaf AI Translator. The judges for this project will be Professor Glassborn, Professor Sarwan, Professor Kusut, and Professor Mara.
oh, oh.